Good morning. It's another Monday. Right, so at the end of the last video, I said the red steering wheel was going back to be sorted out, so I'm going to take it off. But I did get the airbag light come on, so I'm going to just plug in and just check, see whether it was because of the steering wheel or because I've moved the seat. I have a feeling it's because I've moved the seat, because since moving the seat back to pick up some money that fell out of my pocket, the light's gone off. But I'm going to quickly plug it in. So yes, going to swap the steering wheel back to the other one, so this can go back to the body shop and then they haven't got a rush and I can still use the car. So that's the first job. OBD plug in an MGF is under this panel, under the steering wheel. So just got to pop this off and then yeah, plug it in. I need two hands. Also, when I was at the show, I went to see Optimil because I've had this now for, well, since billing. And this was really difficult to get on and off the Boss. I had to literally put my fingers behind it and wiggle both sides and pull as hard as I could to get it off. So I thought I'd go and check with him just to make sure. I got my mate to have a go and he couldn't even pull it off the Boss. So it's definitely something wrong with it. So I popped over to see him and they said, tell you what, leave that with us and we will have a look at it and make it fit. And I said, well, to be honest, my steering wheel is sometimes quite difficult to get on as well. So I'm wondering whether it's actually the Boss. So he gave me a Boss that they had there in stock and said, go and try it. So I left that with him, obviously as a security, I completely understand. Took the other Boss, swapped it over, and now put the key in. If I put it in the right way, yeah. Put the key in, turn it, and it literally just falls off. So yes, resolved. Thank you very much, Optimil. Excellent customer service. Swapped it, no problem at all. Job done. Right, so some purchases from Beaver Castle. Couple of airbags, the Contech ones, just as spares, £5 each. TDV6 Bonnet Stay, because again, I've got a bit of wood holding mine up. There you go. A black clock surround, so obviously once I've finalised the layout, the cutting on various brown ones that I've got, this would be the final one that I cut to fit. Got it cheap because it's missing that bottom leg on that side and one of the clips at the top's broken, but I don't need any of those, so I got it cheap. A TD5 clutch pedal, so it's the thin one, which means I can fit my LOF spring, and also it's got the fittings for the clutch switch for the cruise control, so I need that. I bought a fire maple jet boil type kettle thing, so I can use when I go laning, and I bought some more carpet so I can carpet the insides. Also, I bought a wing top vent grill that I needed because mine was all broken, so that's on. I fitted it while I was there, so I just threw the other one away. So that's the little purchases we've got. Started on the Jag. So to get this first box off, there was obviously the hose clip on the inlet hose there. There's this clip and the silver wire, and then this you just lift with a screwdriver, it pops off, and it was held on by a 8mm headed bolt. So that's off. So that's the first bit out the way. So next piece was the throttle body. That had one bolt through it there, which is that bolt there, a 10mm head on it. I undone the pipes off the manifold because I need to put something in between that. And then unplugged the throttle body, unplugged this sensor, unclipped the one that's on here, and then just wiggled them and they come out. Now they are pretty manky, so they are going to need a good clean, and we are left with this. Look at that. Jesus. So we'll definitely be clearing them out before we put it back on. And there is the offending article. As you can see, it is bolted there, there, there and there. And we've got 3 pipes on this side, and I think there's a pipe that goes, or there's a bit of it that goes on the fuel cooler. I'm not going to disconnect it yet until the other one turns up, but at least we're ready. But I am going to pull that out. Right, so yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. That was quite simple. 10 minutes really, 15 minutes. So, but you can see, obviously that residue is coolant, and you can see it all behind there where it's leaked out and sat in the V. So yeah, right, just got to wait for the new one to arrive. It looks a bit better now, doesn't it? Doesn't look so cheap and nasty, but there you go. So I've carpeted the box, even the box front, so it just looks like a black floor now. So I think that'll do for now. I know it's a little bit different to the colour of the dirty mud on the side bits, but you know, it'll get used and it'll get blended in a bit more. But anyway, that's much better than it was white. So yeah, I'm chuffed with that. And I have carpeted the bulkhead and gone over to the back as well. I'll quickly show you that. There we go, and that's carpeted as well. Probably a terrible picture. But yeah, so that is the carpeting pretty much done now. So today's job is to change the clutch pedal. There we go, that's better. So just to make sure that, I mean, this is a TD5 clutch pipe, so it should fit no problem. But what I'm going to do is drain the fluid out of there, undo this pipe, and the clutch pedal that I got, they just cut the pipe, so it still has the fitting in. So I'll take the fitting out of that, screw it in this one, and then we know if it fits in there, this pipe's going to go in there without changing it all, and then going to put the pipe on, it don't fit. So I'm just going to suck that out, and then it's just the 6 bolts around it from in the footwell, and then pull it out, hopefully. Might have to move the header tank. I can't remember, well, obviously it does come out this way, but I might have to move the header tank and the top pipe to get it through. So let's drain that out first. With the pedal in the vise, I've got the new LOF spring. The only difference is I can see, obviously there's 3 windings on the original, 2 on this. There's various videos on doing this, mainly the one on LOF site themselves, but obviously we've got to pop them out and then it should come out of here. They do supply new bushings as well, so I haven't got a tripod, so I can't film me doing it, but I'm just going to obviously lever these out and then see how this all falls out. And I've fitted the LOF Power Spring. I've also bent in these tabs a little bit, just so the spring stays in there. I will link the video to Luke's video at LOF on the fitting of this, because obviously he can do it on the bench. I haven't got a tripod to show you, so. Right, that's in. We can now fit this into the car. There's the 2 pedals. Obviously the left one is the old one, the right one is the TD5 one with the power spring installed. As you can see, that's why I had to change the pedal, because that one is wider and doesn't fit. And obviously we've got the clutch switch on there as well for the cruise control. So let's get the new one back in. Okay, right, we have the pedal back in. I've put some fluid in the bottle. I've now got to vacuum bleed the line through. I'm just waiting for the air compressor to charge up. I had to make an adapter. Now the pipe I got has a 3/8 fitting, which, if you probably don't remember, but in the when I first fitted it before, I had to remove the fitting off of the master cylinder for it to go straight in. There was like a factory adapter, so that goes straight in the master cylinder. But now I want to keep, well, now I want the clutch switch with the banjo and fitting. I need an M12 fitting, and that's 3/8, so it doesn't work. So I've made a little brake pipe basically with 3/8 one end and a female, no, sorry, M12 at one end and a female 3/8 the other for the pipe to go into. So I'm hoping that's going to be okay. I have emailed the company who make it. It took a bit of a while to understand what I mean. I think they thought they sent me one with a banjo fitting, because then you can just unscrew it, put the hose straight on there. And they were wondering why I couldn't get my head around it. But when we worked out that it's 3/8 on the hose and not a banjo fitting, they've gone quiet. So I think they might be trying to work out what they sent me. I presume it's probably a disco one. But anyway, at the moment we have a temporary fitting in there. In the event they want to change the hose, we can sort that out. But for now, I just want to make sure it works. So we are waiting for the compressor to charge up so I can bleed the clutch. I've vacuum bled the clutch and we now have a clutch pedal again. So we'll have to give the old LOF clutch spring a test on the next drive. I've got the clutch switch wired in. I had to extend the wiring a little bit. So now I'm going to get inside and see if I can plug in the cruise control switches, and then we'll see whether we've got cruise control working now. I've got the cruise control switch in. I've not even connected the wires. I've just literally taped them together just as a test, because obviously in the event it still doesn't work, I'm not going to drill a hole or anything yet for this if it's not going to work. So yeah, we'll test it on the way home and see what happens, but fingers crossed. Next job is the bonnet stay. Now obviously the bonnet stay for the original one bolts on here, goes all the way down here and back on itself when the bonnet's closed, which obviously this is all in the way. So I needed a TD5 one, or Puma one should I say. I think they're the same, but I bought one and obviously it doesn't fit on this bonnet. Or does it? I've managed to fit it in there. It clips behind there, so it's nice and sturdy. Hard to get out. And then, for now, it rests in there. On the TD5 or TDCI, the radiator mount here holds the other end of this. It holds this end, this end, and then this end goes into the bonnet. But for now, that's doing the job. That'll hold it if I need to do anything on the truck. And then when we get the Puma bonnet, we'll see where the rest is and we'll make something up, because the support bracket for it is about 70 quid. I did have a look around the show to see if I can find a second-hand one, but alas, none. So I'm sure we can make something to go on this once we've got the other bonnet, so we can see where it needs to sit. But for now, that works perfectly, and I can get rid of my bit of wood. Right, it's back in. It's been redone and it's got matte lacquer on now. Again, the lights make it look really bright, but it's not. It is the same colour as the seats. Might be a touch brighter, but it's newer, obviously. But yes, in real life, it's really quite close. So happy with that. Thankful that they've done it again, and especially in the matte lacquer. So another job ticked off. Just realised, I just checked what I've filmed, and I hadn't filmed any of changing the front brake hose. But it's a front brake hose, it's not rocket science. So that's changed. I'm still waiting on the manifold, like the coolant manifold for the top of the V. Hopefully that'll be here today or tomorrow, and then I can get it done before the weekend. So yeah, we're just waiting on that coolant manifold now, and then we can get it back in for a retest. The new part has arrived. So I think what we might do is, it's got a gasket around it, so it should be okay. I might smear some gasket all around it, just as a double whammy. And then, yeah, it looks like we just need to pop this clip out, and then two squeezy clips, and then you've got the bolts all around it. So I'll get on with doing that now. I think it's on. Everything's back together. I went round the seam with sealant. I also went round the flanges, all three of them, with sealant, just to be on the safe side, so fingers crossed. I'm just going to top it up, and then I'm going to put the inlet manifold back on. Well, throttle body back on, shall I say. Right, I've done that EGR pipe. I've just got to put this EGR pipe in. I mustn't forget to install my washer. Install the washer. Back together. I'm going to give it 20 minutes, half hour to let the sealant all dry. I'll have a cup of tea, and then we'll fire it up, and hopefully that'll be the end of the water leak. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I had some leftover carpet, so I thought I'd just carpet that tunnel. I've put some more sound deadening all around, footwells behind that and that footwell, and I had that bit of carpet left, so I thought I'd put that in there, and then I'm going to get a whole set to cover the whole lot. So it's just an extra sound deadening layer, really, more than anything, because I'm going to get a whole carpet set that covers everything. So that'll be behind. So it's a bit rough around the edges, but that's just a bit of carpet left for a bit of sound deadening. So that was that. Also, I have rebled the brakes. Rebled the brakes because they were feeling a bit spongy. So I'll see whether that's made any difference. If not, we need to look into that a bit more. Also, I've moved my Bluetooth transmitter from the back to the dashboard. You can't see it, but it's just tucked behind here on a magnet, because although it's plugged in constantly, it does randomly turn off, and that means I've then got to get out, go to the back and turn it back on. So if it's here, at least I can turn it on each time. So that's that done. And I think that's about it really today. And oh, and the Jag hasn't leaked any more water yet, so that's a good thing. I'll need to run it up, take it for a drive, bring it back and put it on the lift. But what I'll do, I'll use the MOT retest as the test for that. At least if it gets there, they retest it, even if it has got coolant leak on the advisories. If it's still leaking, at least it's passed and I can work on it at some point, because it's a bit of a pain not being an MOT. I can't just take it up the road to test it. So if I can get a ticket on it after the weekend, all good. So on that note, have a lovely weekend. I am off to Dunsfold Land Rover exhibition tomorrow, and I'm also at a car show on Sunday, so if I can get any footage from there, I will do. So have a lovely weekend. I'll see you very soon next. Oh, I'm not very good at words today. I'll see you next week in another video, and hopefully we'll have the Jag done and we can get on with the other Defender as well. So ta-ra guys, thanks for watching, see you soon.